Hi, have you ever felt like negativity was creeping into your life like weeds taking over a garden? I know I have. When I lost my last job, I was hard hit, more hard hit than I could even admit to myself. And I find myself staying in and not going outside. I found myself watching old reruns, eating sugary nonsense, drinking too much coffee, listening to bad, sad news and letting drag me down. The weeds of life were taking over my life garden, and I needed to do something to stop them from strangling anything that was good that was left. And for me, when I'm thinking of my life garden, not only are there the weeds, there are also the antidotes, the kinds of things we can do for ourselves that keep the weeds at bay or maybe actually act as weed killers. So for me, I found myself a gratitude app, and looking at things from a different perspective kick-started me. I started going for a walk again every day, getting myself out in nature. And it blew the cobwebs away, it lifted me up. And I started drinking more water. I started eating a more balanced diet. I went out into my home garden and I started painting the fence and painting the shed and mowing the lawn and weeding the patio. And I moved inside and I started decorating and clearing out the rooms, getting my home ready for sale. And as I did it, I was listening to boppy music because that lifted me up. And all these little things, they all started to reclaim my space and push back the weeds and bring my life garden back into a nice, even keel. So, how does negativity show up in daily life? Well, I think of it as being a many-headed dragon. I think there's the mental weeds, the things like doubt, like stress, anxiety, fear, all those nasty what if thoughts that, like Mark Twain said, have had some terrible troubles, most of which never happened. Those typically are mental weeds. And then there's the physical weeds. Maybe it's the things like being a couch potato or eating too much rubbish or drinking things that drag our energy levels down. Maybe it's not spending enough time outdoors, not getting enough sleep. Those are physical weeds. And then there's the emotional ones. Maybe we're feeling sad about things that happened long ago, out of our control. Maybe we've let ourselves wallow a little bit too long in some self-pity or got angry about things that are out of our control, resentful about things that people have done and they're not even in our lives anymore. Our emotional weeds. And then there's the spiritual weeds. That sense of helplessness and hopelessness, where we lose sight of things going full circle and righting themselves in the end. Or as my mum would say, it's all coming out in the wash. Basically, all of these different kinds of weeds can take over our garden if we're not careful. And it's helpful to recognise how they can start creeping in. For me, if I'm overtired, if I'm run down, if I'm feeling challenged, I'm very much more prone to letting negativity in. A little bit more sneakily than that, it can sometimes come in when I've been a little bit too still for too long. Maybe I've been a little bit lethargic, maybe I've got a little bit apathetic, and the negativity sneaks into the garden. But however it arrives, it snowballs. and it soon gets out of hand, whether it's listening to bad news, whether it's hearing bad gossip, whether it's watching films or reading books or listening to music that just drag us down. The negativity soon compounds and can soon start strangling the whole garden if we're not careful. So, what can we do about it? What are our natural antidotes that we can nurture and have flourish in our life garden to keep those weeds at bay, to help get rid of them? Well, from a mental perspective, we might be thinking about things like meditation, like mindfulness, maybe hypnosis. Maybe we read those stories that have got happy endings. Maybe we do a mental puzzle that keeps our mind away from the negativity. And then there's the physical antidotes. Whatever movement we enjoy is good for us. And if we get outside and enjoy nature, it's going to nurture us. And if we keep ourselves hydrated, I love lemon water. It's going to uplift us. And if we have a more balanced diet, then yes, our body's going to thank us for it. And those emotional weeds, laughter and humour, it's like a silver bullet for if we're allowing ourselves to feel too sad or a little bit too much self-pity perhaps. And perhaps we dance because that kind of movement just incites joy. Or maybe we do some journaling and we write about the things that are bothering us and it cleans out those emotional wounds and helps us to heal. And then there's the spiritual antidotes. For me, as I've said, definitely gratitude journaling is number one. That whole reframing, it so helps me. And then there's things like maybe doing some mantras, maybe some prayer, maybe some parables. Whatever it might be, that thing that shifts our perspective and helps us see that life isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. It can make all the difference and lift us back up, and our garden becomes healthy and well tended again. But if we can just do a few things regularly, that little bit of consistency will actually keep most of the weeds away and we'll never have to have that big clear out. Some daily habits that I like to do would be when I wake up, maybe a meditation, maybe a prayer. Record some gratitude, set off my day on the right foot. Drink plenty of lemon water, keep myself hydrated. Get some fruit and veg in, make sure my body's happy. Go out for that walk and blow those cobwebs away and get out in nature because I know it's going to lift me up. Have a laugh and a giggle with my nephew or watching a programme, reading a book, because laughter really is that silver bullet. It is brilliant at trouncing all negativity. But whatever your antidote of choice, why not pick one today and try it? Which one's calling to you? Remember, you've got an awful lot of power over what happens in your life garden. And it's all about just taking that power and running with it. If you'd like a tool to help, there's a tracker in the description that will help you spot those weeds and pick out some antidotes. But whatever you choose to do and however you choose to tend your garden, you'll see your life bloom. So have fun. Thank you.